Hello and welcome back to another episode of How She Does It. Have you ever been in a job where you're like waiting for this promotion and then somebody else gets it? Or you have such a great idea but have no clue where to start and kind of think you're in a little bit over your head? Today I want to talk about building your own opportunities so that you're not waiting for somebody to tap you on the shoulder and say it's your time. You just get to decide and not let anybody else dictate when it's your time to be successful. Because truly, only you get to decide that. Nobody else gets to determine how successful you're going to be. You get to decide. And building out your own opportunities is the best way to take control over your success. Because if you wait for people to tap you on the shoulder and say it's your time, you might be waiting forever. Instead, put your plan in motion. You have to figure out what is your end goal and then work backwards from there. And understanding and being okay with the fact that things take time. As long as you're being strategic and you're hitting your benchmark moments and you're learning to pivot along the way, that's how you can define success when you're on a long road in building out your own opportunity. Once you have your plan in place, that's a perfect moment to figure out and define what kind of support do you need along the way. Is it education? Is it a business partner? What does that look like for you? Being relentless along your journey is how you're going to get there. And do not underestimate the power of networking. Reaching out to people on LinkedIn, tapping people that you went to school with, searching up those companies and seeing, okay, who works at this company and who can I talk to? Who works in this industry that I know? If you're looking to make a career pivot or venture into something completely new, leverage your current network and identify, okay, who do I already know that's working in this space? Offer to take them out for a coffee so that you can pick their brain for 30 minutes and have specific questions ready. Because if you've already built your plan, you should have questions. And be relentless in the pursuit of what you want. I always knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I just didn't understand how I was going to get there. But what I did understand is that I needed certain skills along the way. And because I didn't like school, I didn't like university and the program that I was in, I was like, I'm going to work my way through a working degree. And so what that meant is I was going to work a bunch of jobs in the corporate space until I felt I had enough skills and knowledge about how these companies really worked and the infrastructure that made them successful that I could then take off and run my own business. But I wasn't going to pay for a degree to get there. I was going to get paid to do it. And I understood some of the most successful people who made the most money worked in sales. So that was a no-brainer for me, that I was going to have to get experience in sales in order to do whatever I wanted to do. I was working in the service industry and I was making okay money. And I actually took a pay cut to take a salaried job. But I knew that getting a job at that time in the corporate space with no degree, it was a little bit taboo back then. So I took the leap. I stayed serving part-time because I literally could not afford to live otherwise. And I stayed in the service industry until my third corporate job. I just wasn't getting paid enough. But I knew that the skills that I was learning in sales, in HR, was going to propel me further. So I dedicated those specific years to learning and to understanding. All the while, I had my eye on one company that I wanted to work for because I knew in Toronto their sales program was great. They had great training. They had a good ramping period, which meant I was going to have enough time and space to ramp up my skills so that I wouldn't get fired. And I waited until I had 2 years of experience in the corporate space to put on my resume before I applied to the job that I wanted. To get a job that I knew was going to train me in the right ways so that I could be here today. I then worked that job for just over 3 years. And when I felt like I had learned enough and I was just itching to be on my own, that's when I took the leap. So when I say have patience in your journey and have a goal, it makes it so much easier when you have a goal in mind, because I knew all that time, okay, even if I don't love this job right now, even if it's not the best thing ever and it's not where I want to be in the end, I understand that every single day sitting in this seat is getting me closer to my end goal. And that's why it's so important at the beginning of this journey to identify your why, to identify your plan and what you're actually working towards, because there's going to be days along this journey that you want to quit. There's going to be days when you're building out your own opportunities for yourself that you're thinking, can I really do this? Is this worth it? And if you have your end goal so clearly defined, financial freedom, time freedom, being able to build a beautiful life for your family, being able to work a job that you love. If you have that goal defined for yourself, there will be no stopping you. Before I got into social media, I had zero marketing experience. I had a little bit of marketing and advertising experience from working in my tech sales role, but other than that, I was learning as I was creating. And I built out my personal TikTok page because I was exploring the algorithm. I wanted to understand how social media really worked, how digital marketing worked, what the consumer was looking for, so that I could apply all of the things that I've learned in all of the specific roles to build out the brands that I wanted to work with clients that I wanted to work with. It turned into something much bigger than that, and learning that and spending hours creating and hours consuming propelled me so much quicker than any degree ever could have. When you have a hunger for change and this burning desire inside, you won't let a single thing stop you from reaching your goals. And it's really important along the way to reevaluate what that looks like for you. Because if you're in survival mode, naturally your goals are just going to look a lot different. You're going to want to dig yourself out of the hole that you're in first so that you can see the horizon and dream even bigger. And if you already have that mindset, more power to you, because that shows that you're really tough. The hardest circumstances build the most interesting people. Do not let anyone make you feel like the things that you're going through are going to stop you. What they're actually going to do is fuel you. How boring would it be if I sat here today and told you that I came from money and I just got to do this because I wanted to? How boring would my story be if there was no adversity in it? To be, you must first overcome. And to lead, you must first pave the way. If the path is already paved for you, you're not building any muscle. You're not building any endurance. It's getting the debris out of the way. Figuring out which way you even need to go, that's the interesting part. That's when you're building your story. And the sooner that you learn to enjoy it and find comfort in your missteps and recognizing them and finding comfort in the struggle because you understand you're in the most interesting part, that's when you'll truly find joy. There's a reason why so many people who have millions or billions of dollars don't stop working. When they have all of the resources in the world, sure, their life might look a little different, but they don't stop working because they continue to want the challenge. They want to do something bigger and something greater. If you have that burning passion inside of you, it never goes away. So being able to cultivate the mindset in order to build your own opportunities from now is one of the most powerful things you can do. Because then it's just about scaling. It's just about figuring out what that looks like today versus what that's going to look like in 10 years from now. And your knowledge and skills over time is only going to get greater. So the opportunities that you're going to be able to build out for yourself in 10 years from now, 15 years from now, 20 years from now, is going to look insanely different if you start today. If you say, I want to pivot my career because I'm not happy. I used to look forward to 5 p.m. and that was a red flag for me. Why am I waiting until 8 hours of my day have gone by? Why am I not building a life where I'm excited for 5 a.m.? Figure out what your red flags look like for you so that you can build out a plan to build your own opportunities. Be proactive, be flexible, take risks, and for God's sakes, leverage your network. You don't have to wait for somebody to say that today is your day or that your time is now. You get to decide. So what are you waiting for? Let's do it. And I'll see you next time.